5 times in a day, azan is causing noise pollution. What have you done about it? And what about all the honking that you do in the car when you're in the car? And what about driving a car? I mean, how many people drive diesel cars? Do you know how much pollution diesel cars cause? Why don't we convert the whole Vatican into a lovely school? Why don't we convert the Mecca Medina into a lovely hospital? And why don't we do this to Bethlehem? And why don't we do this to every religious place on earth? And if you do not have the balls to do this or to even ask this question, then you should leave the Vaishnavas alone.
Hello, good evening, namaste, and welcome to Citti Media. My name is Citti, and you're watching the Current Affairs show. There have been a lot of questions asked, especially by the Wokestars. Why wasn't a hospital built in the place of Bhavya Shri Ram Mandir? Why are we polluting during our celebrations, our Hindu rituals? Why are we bursting firecrackers when we could have a very serene and a quiet Diwali? To answer all of these questions, we have Neena Rai with us today. Neena ji, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Sharon, for having me on your show. Namaste, Jai Shri Ram. Lovely to be here.
Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Since we were also discussing about Diwali,
yes,
why should we actually celebrate Diwali, especially that too with firecrackers? Was the conversational topic a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Because if you want to celebrate Diwali, why not just light diyas? What is the need for bursting firecrackers is what a lot of activists online were saying.
Invokes.
Right.
These days, okay, so sorry to say this, but every dumb idiot becomes an activist these days, and every woke thinks that they're an activist. And sometimes people don't have titles, so they call themselves activists. So this is number one I want to tell you, okay? And the question you need to ask is, why not? How is it justified that for Thanksgiving you have to kill turkeys? So do these people raise slogans against that? How is it justified that during Bakri Eid cows and goats should be slaughtered? And what they do is they get them in the building itself, and then they do the procedure, the halal, in front of children. So these people never think of, like, should we do this? And how is it that these people never talk of how many Christmas trees are felled for Christmas? So how is it that only during Hindu festivals, mind you, only during Hindu festivals, these people remember that, oh, this is causing pollution? Well, 5 times in a day, azan is causing noise pollution. What have you done about it? And what about all the honking that you do in the car when you're in the car? And what about driving a car? I mean, how many people drive diesel cars? Do you know how much pollution diesel cars cause? So how is it that the same people don't ask these questions? And, there are people who are like, oh my God, my dog gets so scared. And, I'm like, yeah, but you eat chicken and you eat lamb and you eat other animals. So how is it that, there is this dichotomy in society wherein just because it's a dog or a cat, it's more valuable than who? The other animals. So it's basically saying, I'm better than you, and whatever I say is better than you. But if you're a Hindu and you like cows and you think cows are sacred, you must be, old-fashioned or stupid or something. So the question is not about Diwali. And the question is, how come they don't ask these questions? How is it only selective during Diwali? And about diyas?
I think the simple answer is most of these folks have an IQ, a very high IQ. And the IQ here stands for Instagram quotient. So, dogs and cats are very popular on Instagram. But
yes. So cat videos are the most watched videos on social media, on YouTube. You just take one of these cat videos, huh? And by the way, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on them. I myself have had cats and dogs as pets. In my family's had cows, cats, dogs, ducks, or you name it. We've had them as pets. I've had birds as pets. I love all animals. I'm not judging anything. But you're right. This is like millions of people just watch cats. This is the IQ level of the masses. This is what they watch. And then we're supposed to hear from the masses what we should be doing. So, if the IQ level of the masses is so low, what kind of decisions are they going to make? And the kind of questions they're going to raise is anyways going to be really sad. So
Since we are talking about woke culture and even cancel culture for that matter, I think there's a long list of things that have been cancelled or have been called out by the wokesters these days. So let's take a couple of them at least. For instance,
yeah.
One of the controversial moves that Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath did as soon as he took power in 2017 was that he renamed many of Uttar Pradesh's cities, and many of these are major cities. And Faizabad is now called as Ayodhya. But according to the logic of some of these people, now you've written a book called Amazing Ayodhya. It should be, fantastic Faizabad or something like that.
Over my dead body, it'll be fantastic Faizabad. They can go take a walk in the park.
Right, but according to you, why is this right in order to rename cities?
Okay, so first of all, who are these cities named on? Some low-class looters and marauders who came and looted India through sheer brute force. And what did they give to India? Really, harems, death, destruction. Tell me some amazing things that these people made. Did they educate India? Did India reach some new heights? Or since the time they came, India went down, 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 down to such an extent that the British were able to come and control. And when the British came, some of the Hindus were like, thank God somebody saved us from these people. Okay, so these are losers. And wherever they came from, by the way. So I lived, for a very long time abroad, and I lived in Muslim countries. I lived in the Middle East, right? And I interacted with a lot of Middle Eastern people, Afghani, Turkish, and all these people. And I would ask them, do you know these people? Like I would name them and I said, do you know they came to India? And they're like, who? What? We don't know. Who are these people?
Right.
They have no idea. So their own countries have no idea of these third-rate looters. Okay, these third-rate looters who have destroyed our cities, who've destroyed our people, destroyed our civilization. We've named cities after them because they wanted it. So see, naming a city after yourself is a very narcissistic or a psychopathic trait. It's a very narcissistic trait, to be very honest. Okay, and especially when you're not creating a city from scratch. So if you create a city from scratch and you name it after yourself, fair enough, that should be given to you, right? But to destroy a city and then put your stamp on it is psychopathic and narcissist. Okay, these are very destructive personality traits. And if you ask me, I find that India had a flourishing culture, beautiful cities before. And if you will read my book, Amazing Ayodhya, this is something that you will see how organized the cities were, how organized everything was in the thing. So it's like a beautiful artwork. I see this as a beautiful artwork. I mean, look at our temples; they're glorious. Look at the gardens. Look at the artwork that we create. Look at our paintings. Look at our jewelry. Look at our saris. I mean, there's so much beauty in India. And this is the gift of Hinduism to the world: fabric, right? Diamonds, pearls. There's so much gift that we've given to the world: science, technology, right? Ancient Hindus. And these marauders, they're basically like cheap graffiti artists on like beautiful paintings. Okay, so they've come and destroyed that beautiful painting. And if somebody wants to recreate that painting back and bring back the glory, what's wrong?
But it hurts the sentiment of a few minority population.
Well, the minority population, why are they so bothered? Aren't they? So why are they so bothered about, why do they associate with these marauders? The population in our country is Hindu, and they got converted. They didn't come from Afghanistan. I mean, if they did, then, then it's another story. Most of them who did have the ticket to go back today, would they go back? Like, what are they taking pride in? Afghanistan, Pakistan, Turkmenistan? Like, please. So, I mean, so what I'm saying is these are mostly converted Hindus, and, they should also have the realization and know in which generation they converted, and that the glory of India is not in the Mughal era. The glory of India is in the pre-Mughal era. The glory of India is our temples are pre-Mughal era. So this is what I think. And if they have so much of, I mean, why would anybody want to associate with third-rate looters? I'm sorry to say this.
Right.
They're not the pride of our culture. I mean, and that holds true for, just because they're Muslim, that should never be the identity of an Indian Muslim.
Right. Perfectly said. There's another talking point which is which has been going on, especially ever since the Supreme Court's verdict on the Ram Mandir, Ram Janambhoomi dispute came out.
Yeah.
Why couldn't a hospital or a school be built in that place? At the end of the day, nobody dislikes hospitals or schools. They're very charitable.
Yeah, sure. And this is the reason one of the reasons that triggered me to write this book, because every time I would hear this, मुझे लगता था मेरे कानों से ना खून निकल रहा है, like I'm bleeding through my ears. I used to be fuming. Okay, so here is the question. Why don't we convert the whole Vatican into a lovely school? Why don't we convert the Mecca Medina into a lovely hospital? And why don't we do this to Bethlehem? And why don't we do this to every religious place on earth? And if you do not have the balls to do this or to even ask this question, then you should leave the Vaishnavas alone. See, for Vaishnavas, all the avatars of Vishnu are very important. And amongst them, Krishna and Ram are the two most important avatars. Okay, so leave the Vaishnavas alone, go find another place. And when it comes to opening a school and, hospital or anything, I mean, look at the lovely work ISKCON does. I mean, this is such a woke question. Okay, this is such a woke response to everything. I mean, look at the number of people ISKCON feeds on a daily basis. Right. I mean, and here is something that I want to tell these wokes, and the ISKCON feeds them on, in schools and everything. So one of the reasons children are able to go to school is because they're going to get fed there, right? Because some parents cannot feed.
By the way, they did have a problem with Sattvic food as well, because there is no inclusion of onion and garlic and whatnot. So it just never ends.
This, and I'll tell you something. You tell the same wokes that why don't you stop drinking champagne and stop going out to clubbing and stop wasting money on Costa coffee and barista? Why don't you go feed the poor? You will notice that none of these wokes will do that. You tell them go live poor and convert your house into a hospital. They never do that. Go tell them to sell their property and make a hospital. Tell them to serve a patient. They'll never do that. This is just hypocritical talk. This is actually lip service. So they sound nice. In reality, anybody who does groundwork will never say these questions. So this is just like you said, this is for like Instagram followers, not reality.
Thank you so much. We have been able to cover a lot of topics today, and I hope this session has provided a lot of clarity to our youngsters who may be very reasonably informed about a lot of these issues that have been going on, and take pride in the traditions that we follow, about the glory that we had in the past, so that our future is also on the brighter paths. Yes,
and I hope that for us, I consider that हमने अपने parents से मशाल ली है, so we have that, we are carrying the glory from our parents and our grandparents, and then we can pass out the baton to the coming generation, because the coming generation is going to be the pride of our, of Hindus. So the instead of becoming wokes, I would like them to become pride of Hindus and beacons of our culture. Why not? We must expect this from our people, right?
Thank you so much. It was lovely speaking with you, and I hope you can join us again for a conversation.
Thank you, and Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. And viewers, please do let us know what you thought about this particular session in the comment section below. Until then, this is your host Sharan Citti signing off.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. धन्यवाद. Namaskar.